welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a tag video, and the tag I'm going to be doing is the School Days book tag. So I was tagged for this video by Rosie from the channel Rosie Cockshot. I will of course link her channel down below. You should all go check it out if you haven't already, because it's a wonderful channel. So for this tag there are kind of two parts. First we have the times of day questions, and then we have the subjects, and you're supposed to do all of the time of day prompts, and then you can pick and choose between subjects. You can pick how many you want and which ones you want to do. So there are 6 times of day questions, and then I have picked 5 subjects as well. So yeah, let's just get to them. So the first question is, First Bell. Tell us about the book that first got you into reading. And I don't actually have an answer for this because I have no idea. I think maybe the first thing I started reading was maybe comics. But aside from that, I can't remember. I mean, I've been reading since I had properly learned to read, so it's a long time ago. So I literally have no idea which book got me into reading. Question number 2, break time. Which book have you most recently had to take a break from or DNF? And as you may know, I don't really DNF books very often, and I haven't DNF'd any books recently, but I am currently reading a book that I just take breaks from here and there as I'm reading it, and that book is Anna Karenina. I've mentioned before that I am currently making my way through this giant book. I also talked about how I'm just being super chill when I'm reading this. I'm just reading it a little bit here and a little bit there. And I actually took a break from this for most of April because I had to focus on other books. And now in May I am back to reading this. I'm just reading it in between other books and just little small chunks here and there. So I'm currently up to page 258, so I still have this part left. So I mean, I still have some work to do with this one. But yeah, I'm taking breaks here and there. I will probably continue to do that. So this is the most recent book that I took a break from. Then we have lunchtime. Tell us about your favorite book that features food. So at first I didn't think I'd have a good answer to this one because I don't generally seek out books about food. It's just not something that I'm very interested in. But then I remembered Bloom. This is a graphic novel, and a big part of this book is set in a bakery, because the main character in this book, his family, they own a bakery, and he is kind of forced to work there. And then we have our other main character who comes to work there as well, and that's how the two of them meet. So yeah, it's a super cute book, and it has a lot of delicious food. Final Bell. Which book have you most recently finished reading? So as I'm filming this, I just very recently finished reading my first book in May, and that book was The Gentle Art of Fortune Hunting by K.J. Charles, and I absolutely loved this book. I will talk about it more in my May wrap-up when the time comes, but yeah, this book was just wonderful and amazing, and I loved it. Homework. What was the last non-fiction book that you read and enjoyed? So I think Rosie mentioned it in her video as well, that this question is a little bit weird because it kind of implies that non-fiction generally isn't very enjoyable. And I mean, that is certainly true for some non-fiction, but there are plenty of very enjoyable non-fiction. And when I pick up a non-fiction book that I want to read, I am, expecting to enjoy it. And most of the time I do enjoy them as well. But since it is a tag based around school, I guess it may be just phrased this way because, a lot of the school books that we have to read for school generally maybe aren't that enjoyable. But anyway, I checked, and the last non-fiction book that I finished was also one that I really enjoyed. And that was Stamped from the Beginning, The Definitive History of Racist Ideas in America by Ibram X. Kendi. You can watch my March wrap-up, I think it was, if you want to hear my thoughts about this book. But just to give you the short version here, it was very good. Staff Room. Tell us about a book that you go to when you need to take a break. So I'm not 100% sure what is meant by this question, but I'm kind of taking it to mean a book that I go to when I just want to read something, enjoyable and fun. That's how I'm going to interpret it anyway. But I don't really have a good answer to this one because I'm not someone who has a book or multiple books that I always come back to and always want to reread. At least I haven't had that so far. I certainly have books that I want to reread now, but I haven't had one of those books in the past. So I'm just going to say romance in general, because I always find romance novels, at least, the good romance novels, to be so relaxing and enjoyable and fun. They just don't require too much effort the way some other books do. So if I just want to relax and take a break, then romance is definitely the way to go for me. And then we're moving on to the subjects. And I have not picked subjects based on what I enjoyed in school, by the way. I have just picked the prompts that I like the most. So like I said in the beginning, there are 5 of them. So the first one is maths. How do you rate your books? So I've talked about my rating system before. I made a video about that very early on my channel. But I'll give you the short version here. I basically use the pretty standard 1 to 5 stars rating. I also use half stars because I don't think only 5 ratings is really enough for me to be able to separate the books from each other. In my head, there's a pretty big difference between a 3-star book and a 3.5-star book, for instance, even though it might not sound like it. So yeah, I'm using 1 to 5 stars and then half stars as well, so I guess about 10 different ratings. Then we have science. Which book couple do you think had the best chemistry? And wow, this one is a difficult one, and I don't really think I can pick one couple for this because I read a lot of romance. There are plenty of couples that I could choose from. There are plenty of couples that I love because when I read a romance novel and if I enjoy that novel, one of the biggest reasons for that is because the couple have good chemistry, because without chemistry, what's even the point of the romance, So that's definitely one of the biggest factors for me when I enjoy a romance novel, or even just another kind of book that just has a romance as well. Chemistry is definitely I would say, the most important thing. So I'm actually not going to name a favorite, but I'm still going to mention a couple that I think had very good chemistry. And I kind of want to mention the couple from the book that I just finished reading, The Gentle Art of Fortune Hunting, because they had amazing chemistry. But then I didn't really want to mention the same book twice in this tag, even though I kind of just did. So the couple I'm going to mention for this question is Luke and Sawyer from the book Grumpy Bear by Slade James. I read this book earlier this year and I was kind of surprised by how much I ended up enjoying it. And one of the main reasons for that was because the couple had great chemistry. So yeah, they are the ones I'm going to go with, and the book was just really good. Geography. Describe a book that has a strong sense of place or great world building. So I feel like there are a lot of books that I could pick for this, because when I enjoy a fantasy book or a mystery thriller in particular, one of the reasons for that is usually that it has a good atmospheric setting or good world building. But the book that I'm going to go with is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. This is the first book in the Broken Earth trilogy. This one I thought had great world building. It's a little confusing at first, and it's the kind of book that at least I had to really concentrate on as I was reading it, because it's just not the easiest book to read, or the easiest series to read, I should say. But it's so worth it. It's such a unique series and such a unique world. So if you enjoy fantasy and you haven't picked this up yet, then I would highly recommend it. Drama. Which book do you think has the best ending? And like, once again, I can't pick favorites, but I generally like happy endings. And I also like endings where things are kind of wrapped up. Like, I'm fine with some loose threads here and there, but like, I like things to be generally pretty wrapped up by the end. So I'm just going to mention a recent read that I thought had a great ending, and that is House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. The ending of this book, I think, was pretty much perfect. And that is all I'm going to say about it, because, you know, spoilers. But yeah, this one had a wonderful ending. And the final subject that I'm going to do is art. Show us 3 books that you think have the best covers. And like, once again, not picking favorites, because I can't. I think there are so many wonderful covers out there. So I just looked at my shelves and I picked out 3 books that I think has wonderful covers, and covers that I really like. So the first one of those is Felix Ever After by Kacen Callender. I just love how bright this cover is. It's just so pretty with like the covers and the flowers and just everything about this, I think, is wonderful. So yeah, really like this one. And then we have Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I don't generally like look for certain covers when I buy books, but I kind of did with this one, because I just think that this hardcover edition is so pretty. And I know there are another edition out there that I don't really like that much. So for this book, I kind of picked this edition because of the cover. I just like the atmosphere and the just design of this book, and it actually tells a lot about what the book is about, which is maybe easier to see now that I've read it than it is without having read it. But yeah, it just says a lot about the book, I think, and a lot about the atmosphere in the book as well. And the final cover that I'm going to mention here is this giant book. That is The Priory of the Orange Tree. This one is just also so pretty, I think. I love the dragon here. I love the colors. I love the whole design of this. So yeah, just super pretty cover. So that was all the questions. And finally, I'm just going to tag some people. I don't think they've done this one, but if you have, of course, feel free to ignore this. But the people I'm going to tag are Amrita from Amrita by the Book. I'm going to tag Katja from Katja Weinert. And I'm going to tag Nat from Nerdy Nat Reads. And of course, I'm also going to tag anyone else who wants to do this tag. It was a really fun one. So that is going to be it for this video. I always think when I'm editing my videos that I should maybe encourage people to like my videos and subscribe to my channel, because that's something that I always forget when I'm filming. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, then maybe give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos from me, you can always subscribe. And that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye!